We're going to look today at Chapter 3 of Volume 3 of Great Expectations. It's Chapter 42 if you have one that's not separated by the volumes in that way. So in Chapter 3, Magwitch tells Pip and Herbert his story. We learn that Magwitch was an orphan growing up on the streets of London. He committed crimes to survive. Think about disadvantaged children. You know, children, they don't have really healthy parents, no functional parents. And, you know, how often do they engage in self-destructive and even criminal activity to survive? When people don't have their basic survival needs met, they become very vulnerable. And this is certainly the case with Magwitch. And he gets tied up with Compeyson, a forger. Compeyson is educated, he's a gentleman, but he uses all of these qualities to manipulate people. So Compeyson hires Magwitch to commit the criminal actions. Magwitch is underpaid, he's overworked, and Compeyson grows rich, although he gambles away the money. We also learn about a man named Arthur who had also been partnered with Compeyson. So Arthur, it turns out, is the man who exploited Miss Havisham and who ended up, ditching her on her wedding day. And this man has been tangled up in Compeyson's fraudulent activities as well. But Arthur has suffered tremendous guilt over this. He is haunted by hallucinations of this woman, threatening to cover him with a shroud. He's all these hallucinations, and he actually dies in the midst of this screaming. And Compeyson has no empathy for him, no empathy for Miss Havisham, for anyone. He doesn't care. He doesn't feel any guilt or any responsibility for ruining people's lives. He doesn't care that he's destroying Magwitch's life as well. Remember how I mentioned too, I just wanted to say that, in Dickens, you're going to find that lots of characters end up becoming connected to others. So here we have that, Magwitch is connected with Compeyson, who's connected with Arthur, who's connected with Miss Havisham. And, Pip keeps talking about how, the sort of, the criminal activity like Newgate and Magwitch and all these things are so incredibly distant from Miss Havisham, and yet we're finding out that there are in fact some connections between. So as it turns out, Compeyson and Magwitch are arrested, and Compeyson insists on separate trials, and he hires a lawyer that, makes these great distinctions between Compeyson, the educated, the gentleman, the, innocent man, and Magwitch, who's always been committing crimes, this petty criminal and this lower class, uneducated guy, and that, Magwitch's influences cause Compeyson to do those things. And this is, of course, entirely wrong, but the judge falls for it. He gives Compeyson the lesser sentence. And this does really, continue to raise questions about the justice system that privileges those who are rich, those who are beautiful, those who are educated. And then, poor Magwitch, who's had nothing going for him in his life, gets, treated the worst by the justice system. And at the beginning of the novel, the man with whom Magwitch fought in the marshes, that actually is Compeyson. So, again, we've kind of figured out, okay, so now we know who met. We know that, at the beginning of the novel, there were these two men fighting. It's Magwitch and Compeyson. And Magwitch actually forfeited his own freedom. He could have gotten away, but he didn't because he was so insistent on Compeyson being caught that he actually traded his own freedom for that. And it makes you think, is it all about revenge? Maybe. Or is it because he just knows that if Compeyson is, left free, that he's going to go and destroy more lives? So is it actually a matter of justice on Magwitch's part? And those are sort of unanswered things, but things to think about. Okay, that's it for today.